Number 2. For the second Sly Cooper game, the developers decided to change a few things. Okay, they decided to change a shitload of things, and the games would never go back to the old way. And yet somehow it still feels like a Sly Cooper game. The first thing you'll notice, there's a health gauge! No more annoying one-hit deaths, thank Christ! Also, sharp-eyed players may notice Sly's backpack has been replaced by a leg bag instead. I like having the vertical camera inverted in my games. There is an option for it in the menu, but oh god, oh god! It inverts both the vertical and the horizontal at the same time, and there's no way to separate them. Oh hell no, I'm changing it back. I'll bloody deal with it for once. At the end of the first game, Sly and the gang smashed Clockwork to pieces and had to scarper before being arrested. Now the Clockwork parts are being displayed in the Cairo Museum. Oh, psych! They've already been stolen. Run! Oh, by the way, Carmelita chasing you is a lot more intense this time round. The point is that all those parts can be reassembled to reform Clockwork. Sly would prefer that didn't happen, so off on a whirlwind world tour you go to collect them all. Episode 1, The Black Chateau.
It's gonna be a real pleasure robbing this nightclub.
I share in your enthusiasm, but before we hit the inside, we'll need to do a little reconnaissance work.
What do you have in mind?
I've installed this special antenna on the safe house to help with our first job, hacking into Dimitri's satellite array. The coordinates for the job start beacon have been uploaded to your binocular. Make your way to this position, and I'll give you a full briefing on our objective.
I'm on my way.
The streets of Paris are moderately patrolled. The rooftops, not so much. Staying up high is recommended. Now, unlike the original where you had a small central hub area with the main levels coming off of it, here the central hub area is an open world level in its own right. There are little rooms and corridors off the side, but the central bit is where it's at, and you're free to explore this section of Paris at your leisure. Your moves are the same as before, jump and press circle to interact with pretty much everything, but because you're not playing through linear levels anymore, you now have to pick your own meandering path. It's less Spyro the Dragon, more Assassin's Creed, only without the stabby bits. And the whole gang is on point this time. Not merely tag-alongs like before, Bentley and Murray actually have their own unique play style and missions to complete.
Enemies that are knocked out can be picked up with your stomp move. Throw something at that guard, then jump up there and pick them up with the circle button.
Paris is also, perhaps obviously, the scene for your first boss encounter. And all the bosses feel like they're following the basic pattern laid down by the Panda King in the first game. The other bosses had some sort of gimmick you had to work around. But here, you trade blows with Dimitri. He launches melee and ranged attacks, he moves around the room. It feels like an actual fight, rather than you just waiting for a gap in the boss's pattern to appear. Episode 2, A Starry-Eyed Encounter. The palace is well defended. Sly can get in and out easily enough, though the main drawbridge stops Bentley or Murray from entering until you lower it. You can balance along wires, land on points, climb poles, and inch across ledges. Both the regular guards and the lantern guards are tougher than you remember as well. One-hit knockouts no longer work on either of them. Well, unless you happen to knock them off a rooftop. Best way to deal with them is from behind. Knock them up into the air, then slam them back down. Just watch out you don't alert any other guards. Making enough noise to wake a bottle of Nitol can quickly get you overwhelmed.
Familiar to me. Are you in law enforcement?
I often deal with police while on the job.
Ooh.
Episode 3, The Predator Awakes. This is the first area that might even give Sly a bit of trouble moving around. Lots of high and low places connected by vines, stairs and bridges. Approach from the wrong direction and you could hit a dead end. Now your first job in a chapter is usually to take some recon photos. Unlike in the first game where you just basically collected 7 keys to fight the boss, here you actually feel like you're going through the stages of preparing and planning for a main heist. Just like Assassin's Creed used to.
Here we go. Time for a few recon photos. Check it out. Rajan's carrying half the clockwork heart on that stick. Looks like half of the heart is being used to super irrigate the spice plants. There's the entrance to this level. Only I can't figure out how to get in here from the temple's exterior. That crane is keeping half of the heart suspended. Bring those photos back to the safe house. We'll really need to think about this one.
Yeah, not that Murray does any of that. He's mostly into punching things and lifting heavy objects. And he definitely pulls his weight in that regard. And lifts it. And throws it. Typically, once recon is done, Bentley will brief everybody on the next phase of the plan. Several mission markers will appear, complete all the setup missions across a couple of phases, and then it's on to the main heist, culminating usually in a boss fight. Some bosses are more pattern orientated than others, but all need you to stay on your toes, unless they try to chop yours off. Episode 4, Jailbreak. Now, with the other gang members captured, it's down to Bentley, meaning this level starts without access to Sly's trusty thief moves. Fortunately, moving around this level is actually easier at ground level. The sheer number of guards on the rooftops is ridiculous. from the bridge, the wolf guard statues along each side sometimes turn out to be actual wolf guards in disguise. Perhaps better to look for an alternate route. There is a shop of a sort accessed from the safe house via Bentley's computer. It sells a selection of upgrades in exchange for cash. And the first upgrade is actually one of the game's most useful, the smoke bomb. But like the first game, most of the upgrades, you can actually play through the whole game without touching them at all. And don't try to defeat the Contessa at the end, you're not supposed to. Yet. Episode 5, A Tangled Web. The Contessa's castle is well protected, but even the area immediately outside the safe house is swarming with tanks. Hope you're not afraid of heights. Also, driving a tank is a pain in the backside, it turns out. The thumbsticks control the tank tread left and right independently, and it is amazingly hard to steer while trying to train the gun barrel on the tank you're chasing. And cash! You don't technically have to steal stuff in this game, but if you want to fund those upgrades, you're gonna have to. Pickpocketing is simple enough, getting close to the mark's back pocket and, yep, you've guessed it, press circle, and you'll get a small shower of coins. Bentley has some high-level hacking to do from time to time, which plays out like a miniature VR tank game. Episode 6, He Who Tames the Iron Horse. I'd actually completely forgotten about this level. Crisscrossing trains, many guards, and the occasional bear. This is easily the simplest level in the game in terms of layout. That's not to say the whole episode is a breeze, it's not. Trying to lift the train blueprints from the log cabins, collecting explosive gas from mid-air balloons, then landing perfectly on the rear carriage of the trains. And then, the tight quarters of the train carriages themselves are heavily protected by guards and complicated laser grids. Plus, Carmelita's wandering around, of course.
My keys! worm. You're no match for me.
Unlike the original game, these defences do not start in detector mode. They start in kill mode. You touch them, you fry on contact. Episode 7, Menace in the North, eh? But I can't do a Canadian accent, okay? A cave full of bears, an army of lumberjacks, and a frozen tundra's worth of ice. And yet, despite all of that, there isn't much in this level that makes it stand out. Until you get to the lumberjack competition.
Not bad, Hippo. But watch and learn as I destroy that log without even breaking a sweat.
Scattered all throughout the game there are large pieces of loot, but beware, these items can only be carried one at a time and are extremely fragile. One hit will break them. You can go back for them to try again later. Take them back to the safe house for an extra large reward. Then there's booby-trapped loot. Large, breakable, plus a sinister red blinky light. An explosive surprise if you take too long getting it back to the safe house. Episode 8, Anatomy for Disaster. Arpeggio's flying fortress is a maze of walkways and one huge sudden drop. I love the way the fortress leans though as it makes its way through the sky. Even the tilting engines play a part in changing the routes available to Sly towards the back end. It's a good job those one-hit deaths are gotten, eh? There aren't actually that many missions in this particular episode, but the hardest part is sabotaging that one engine with a TNT barrel. You have to walk the barrel all over the fortress to collect 3 somethings, that I don't know, the little red things, to supercharge the barrel. Then walk the barrel to the engine itself. And if you take a single hit 5 feet from the target... Arse! Fortunately, checkpoints. Assuming, of course, you can actually find your way to any of this stuff, while being unable to jump with the TNT barrel. Now, like in the original, there are 30 clue bottles to collect. But unlike the original, where there were 30 bottles per level, 7 levels per area, you won't want to shoot yourself after 3 hours of collecting them. Find all 30 in a single episode and you can unlock the vault. Assuming you can reach it, you might have to play some story missions to open its location up first. And on a related note, the game only autosaves after you complete a mission. So if you've finished scouring the level for clue bottles, quit, and you forgot to save manually, you're screwed. The manual save, by the way, is weirdly hidden. From the pause menu, go to options, and there it is. Like I said, weirdly hidden. Well, this was something. This only happened to me once, and it was literally the only glitch that happened to me in the entire game. The rest of it was faultless. These eggs release drones. I think what's happened here, I think they all released at once and overwhelmed the system. Episodes typically take about 30 minutes to track down all the clue bottles and an additional hour to actually play through all the missions. So by my reckoning, the whole game is about 12 hours long, which by the way is twice the length of the original. The developers changed a lot to let you set the way you infiltrate areas, to engage the guards on your terms, to steal lots of loot, to give you a reason to steal lots of loot. I know some people preferred the original, but when you pull off a heist here, you really feel like you pulled it off, and weren't just sort of guided to it. And yet, despite all the changes, it still feels familiar. The characters, the moves, the graphics, the sense of humour, the music and sound effects. They changed a lot of the mechanics, but not the underlying concept. You're still a thief stealing valuable stuff from heavily guarded villain hideouts. I much prefer the new system. The levels are flexible, the new mission system allows varied missions, and the whole gang can now be controlled. For me, this was the refinement of a good game into a great one. I played a demo version of this game a long time ago now. It wouldn't be until a few years after that I actually played the full game. That was a long wait.
Breaker Alpha Foxtrot, this is the Wizard. Do you read me, Sitting Duck?
This is Peking Duck. I hear you, Blizzard.
No, Sly, I'm the Wizard, and you're Sitting Duck.
I read you loud and clear, Lizard.
No, I'm... Forget it, you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, I'm not.
The demo I played was actually for a small section, a small crosscut of the Paris episode, episode 1. And whenever I think of the Sly Cooper game series, my mind automatically goes to Paris, because that's what I played first, even though it was in a demo. I still think the later games are better than the first one. I know, again, not everybody agrees on that, but I much prefer open world type affairs where you can guide things to your liking, that you're not just playing through a path that someone else has laid out. I like being able to set my own course to a certain extent. Anyway, I think I've whittled on enough about this. What do you think of the video? Leave a like or dislike down below. What do you think of Sly 2? Or, for some weird reason, haven't you played it? Is it your favourite? Do you prefer the first one or the later ones or whatever? You know, leave a comment down in the comment section. That's what the comment section is for. And for those of you who can't get enough of my dulcet tones, you can always subscribe, ring the bell for notification. That's a separate thing. Or if you want to inflict my irritating persona on someone else, you can always share instead. See you next time.